Okay, pretend we're watching this live, and also pretend here. You're not. I'm not like gonna let you see the title to begin with, so it doesn't spoil. Oh God, the title's up there. Don't look at the top. Okay, just
Seal, please. Thank you.
so here's let's set the stage. All right. So Alex Jones, known truth teller, hit with a defamation lawsuit being levied by the parents of Sandy Hook victims because Alex Jones has been basically the chief architect of the conspiracy theory that the school children who were massacred at Sandy Hook were actually fake and not real. They were actually agents of the state, crisis actors, and that the parents are in on it, and that it's a whole thing being done by the deep state to pass gun control legislation, and which never actually happened, and advance the will of Satan, or something. Monstrous disregard for the well-being of these families. The parents of the murdered children suffered harassment from Alex Jones fans, who accused them of being in on the deep state hoax, which is a reaffirmation of the fact that even if Alex Jones is lying through his teeth and basically treats all of this like, impromptu, creative thought exercise, his followers don't. There are plenty of followers of Alex Jones who unironically believe all or some of the stuff that he says, which is horrifying. Anyway, what we're watching right now is the second jury deliberation concluding. See, they found him guilty for the defamation, and there are two kinds of fees that you pay sometimes. If you've been found liable in a civil suit. You have compensatory fees, and you have punitive fees. Compensatory fees are you pay out the money that is a rough estimate of how much damage has been done as a product of your misbehavior. Punitive fees are the find out part of the fuck around, equation.
Thank you.
And now we arrive at the finding out part.
Obviously, this verdict is unanimous, as that's what's required. And I will read the answers. I'm just going to make sure everything's filled out properly first.
Boring legalese. Give me to the reaction. If we don't have that, then we move on. Great job, team. Great, don't care. All right. So altogether, a clean $50 million. Does Alex Jones have that money? Almost certainly, I suspect. That is still a heavy blow. 50 million, that's not a little bit of money. That's a good amount. It's a big hit. And you know what? It's not just about punishment. The families of them dead kids are going to get quite a windfall from this. And that's something. Lawyers, we're going to get a kick, All right. Anyway, the Alex Jones trial. God, where do I even begin with this crap? Okay, so I feel like I want to go through the whole thing, which involves talking about the Sandy Hook conspiracy theory, but the honest-to-God answer is that I really don't. I don't want to go through that. I want to talk a little bit about some of the particularly meme-worthy events to have taken place over the course of this trial. The biggest of which actually has political consequences outside of Alex Jones' trial. So I'll direct us to video B over here.
You guys have all this stuff and you say we didn't give anything.
Mr. Jones, you know how an iPhone works, right? You've had an iPhone text messaging for several years now.
Yeah.
What does it mean if the messages are in blue? Whose messages are those? Whose phone is this taken from?
I don't know whose phone's taken from. I mean, I turned the phone over and said, take the stuff off.
Can I have you look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner? Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Oh.
Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is...
That's the lawyer who did it right there, by the way. The one who's biting off a fingernail. That's the guy who did it. That's the guy who offered them completely unredacted, unrestricted phone access and then did not ask to have that information made privileged.
How I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over.
Just
And
answer
you
the
said,
question.
you said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not what happened.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones,
Mr. Judge,
please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only asks questions.
Sure. Mr.
Like he's a
Jones,
kid.
In discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
So here's the issue for Alex Jones. He perjured himself multiple times. Like a lot. Provably so. Because they have his phone records. You can tell the difference between his general gallivanting and how he reacts when he realizes that they actually have his phone records. Because he's actually in trouble here. This is a real problem for him. Not just in the context of this trial. What's a perjury? Perjury means you lie under oath. Caught in a lie. And he lied about a lot pertaining to records. He lied. Didn't he? He perjured himself about, he tried to lie about whether or not he was saying that the judge in this case is like a deep state pedophile or something. Didn't he try to pull that? Like to his show or whatever? Like, yeah, they're trying to come after me, this lady. The judge confronted him on that. I mean, they have everything now. Now, here's the thing, okay? Alex Jones is kind of a force of nature, It's really difficult to really get him because he's kind of shameless in the extent to which he's willing to dance around the truth. He doesn't have much grounding him. The problem is, there are other people who have reputations to maintain who he's associated with. Sandy Hook parents' lawyer says Alex Jones' phone leak contains intimate messages with Robert Stone. See, 2 years of text messages includes January 6. Alex Jones' phone is a hotbed of potential evidence on any number of media and political figures and stuff they might have said or believed pertaining to January 6th and the time leading up to it and the time after it. Which is spectacular. Just phenomenal. Oh yeah, lawyer did a big oopsie there. Sorry about the noise. The Blue Angels are in town. They're flying over at Mach 87. Oh yeah, there was child porn in the phone records that were brought about. I don't know that much about it. I just, I only saw the headline to that article. It was being cited by major news sites, so I'm just going to assume it's bad. Just going to assume it's not a good thing. Jones was caught watching trans porn. That's a whole different thing. That's from a while back. It's not pertaining to the case. That's why barely any notable right-wingers are talking about this case on Vaush on Twitter, if you notice. Yeah, you might actually have noticed that the only people who are talking extensively about the Alex Jones case are the basically just alt-right people on Twitter, despite this being like a massive deal in terms of like evidence exposure. And I think a lot of that has to do with people thinking like, oh, holy shit, does that include my messages with Alex Jones? Think about it. Think about the one guy who, if you were secretly hoping for like a day of the rope tier, usurpation of the American government, who would you text your unredacted, extremely legally culpable thoughts to? It would be Alex Jones. Jones is probably the kind of guy whose text messages glow like uranium under the black light, pertaining to how open people are with their behavior there. I'm really interesting to see where this develops. Now, the fact that Roger Stone is a kook is not exactly new. It might take a while for this information to be disseminated. I don't really know what the legal and traditional procedure is for incredibly media sensitive information being made public to a legal team in a civic case and not being declared sensitive. I don't know. I don't know if they can just run to the media with it or if there's some process. I genuinely don't know. We will see what will come of it. The fact that it was disclosed to a private legal team, because it was a civil case, keep in mind, not a criminal case. This was not disclosed to the district attorney and their team. It was disclosed to another private legal team. So it seems to me pretty likely that stuff gets fully leaked. I mean, we'll see. Phenomenally funny stuff there. Really, really, really good. Quality, classic. Oh yeah, this little bit. Honestly, any clips you can watch on social media from this trial, they're bound to be pretty funny.
Earlier, and it's been causing you to have some pain.
The January 6th subpoena has already, this January 6th committee has already subpoenaed it. Gotcha.
So you're chewing on your gauze?
Would you like me to show you?
No, I just want you to answer my question.
No, I was massaging the hole in my mouth with my tongue. I'll show you right here.
I don't want to see the inside of your mouth.
Oh no, honey, you don't go. Hold.
Sit down. Do you want to play the...
So this is how Alex Jones behaves when he's not aware that his lawyer accidentally disclosed 2 years of unredacted phone logs to a private legal team without having them declared sensitive. He's a little goofy goofball here, ain't he? Little goofy goofster.
This bizarre moment in a Texas courthouse took place after the judge accused conspiracy theorist Alex Jones of chewing gum. The judge warned the shock jock twice about the violation. But Jones can be seen turning to the camera and putting something in his mouth. The parents of a 6-year-old murdered in the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre are suing the radio and web show.
Can you imagine having your kid killed by a gunman and having Alex Jones make literally hundreds of millions off of saying you're a deep state agent for it, and you're in court with him and he's grinning and chewing gum and joking around? I'm so happy that the lawyer disclosed that info and that they got awarded $50 million because that's gotta be, that's some proper compensatory, oh yeah, here we go. Lawyer, you've been broadcasting a picture of our judge on fire, correct? Alex Jones, oh my God.
Saying, Mr. Jones, that you're taking these court proceedings seriously. You're approaching them in good faith. But the truth of the matter is, you've been broadcasting repeatedly a picture of our judge on fire, haven't you?
Objection compound, Your Honor.
No.
The person on the left of this image is our judge, correct?
Yes.
The person on the right is another judge you don't like, right?
Yes.
Okay. Saying, Mr. Jones, that
You know what? Fuck it. Somebody linked it. Top 7 wildest moments from Alex Jones' defamation trial. Sure. Whatever.
How are you feeling today, Alex?
I actually feel good because I get a chance to, for the first time, say what's really going on instead of the corporate media and high-powered law firms manipulating what I actually did.
See, already he's just treating this like content. Right off the, he's talking to his audience right here. Immediately, right off the bat, he's just treating this like another fun, just content brain.
Alex Jones defamation trial out in Texas.
Please don't add any commentary. Just give me the 7 funny. Law and Crime Network. Okay.
This has had many wild turns, including when the... Now, a quick refresh, even when defamation received.
you to know that I am a mother first and foremost, and I know that you're a father, and my son existed. You're still on your show today trying to say that I'm implying that I'm an actress, that I'm deep state. You have this week, and I don't understand. Truth is so vital to our world. Truth is what we base our reality on. And we have to agree on that to have a civil society.
This is pretty based. She actually gets to the epistemic value right at the beginning. Because the issue with Alex Jones isn't like a misconception. It's not a disagreement. It's that Alex Jones doesn't believe in truth. He, like, as a fact of the world, he doesn't believe in it like as a thing. Empiricism just isn't a thing that he believes in. So she strikes right at that. That's good. Like, that is the issue at hand. He doesn't believe in truth.
Sandy Hook is a hard truth. Hard truth. Nobody would want to ever believe that 26 kids could be murdered. Nobody would ever want to believe that. I understand people not wanting to believe that.
She had to move 10 times. Yeah, because Alex Jones'
I don't want to believe it.
Audience kept harassing her.
But I've, since that day, dedicated my life to keeping kids safe. It's our responsibility. I used to think it was the school's responsibility. It's actually our responsibility. And I've dedicated my life to that. And having a quarter of Americans doubt that Sandy Hook happened or doubt the facts around Sandy Hook is not conducive to keeping our kids safe. It's not. And it's our responsibility to keep our kids safe. This happened almost 10 years ago. We've had over 350 school shootings since then. We have to keep our kids safe. Jesse was real. I am a real mom.
In defamation cases, it is...
Oh, I thought something sensational would happen after that, because these are 7 wildest moments. Well, you know what? Actually, honest to God, should I just leave it there? I feel like landing on the human consequences. You know, like the actual, like the pathos of the situation. Well, she's a rich woman now. God bless. Wish they could have taken more from him. I mean, you know, personally, I think there should be criminal charges. I do. This is past a point. It goes beyond like defamation, and it goes towards like essentially stochastic terrorism. I like Alex Jones does something that is essentially like putting a target on someone's forehead, like every video that he does. It's targeted harassment. At the very least, targeted harassment. Like the idea that it's not that, the fact that he has not been arrested under like 8 trillion charges of targeted harassment. And I know there's like a slippery slope argument to that. Like, well, what if every person you criticize could, but you can't run that here, right? This is so obviously different in kind, you know? It's like, we have harassment laws for a reason, you know? There's a bit like if a person is spends 6 years in public like chasing down one person and screaming at them, that's arresting them is not the same as arresting anyone who has an argument in a bistro. There's very clearly a line here, you know? And Alex Jones is basically the worst actor on the other side of that line. So whatever.